This is the new Skoda Kodiaq, and its name is inspired by that of the large Alaskan bear. Look at it, all kind of red and fuzzy and big. Now this car isn't fuzzy, but it is red and it's rather large, and I think this is the first truly desirable car Skoda has ever made, yet it still offers pretty decent value for money. So it starts from £21,500, but if you're interested in buying one of these, or any new car for that matter, click up there to go to carwow.co.uk. You can compare offers from dealers and buy a price you're confident in. It's really worth doing. You can just spec up your ideal car and see what kind of deals you can get on it. So on average, people save £3,600 on a new car through Carwow. So yeah, click up there and just check it out. So the Kodiaq is available in two different kinds. So you can get the 5-seater version or a 7-seater version, which is what this car is. And yeah, on the whole, you've got absolutely loads of room back here. Acres of headspace. There's loads of knee room as well, and you really can stretch out. These front seats are raised up slightly. That one's in my driving position, and you can just slide your feet out. So yeah, all super comfortable. I can slide these chairs forward to give the people in the back more knee room, and I can recline them if I don't care about their comfort at all. So yeah, it is very roomy. Now if you need to carry 3 abreast in here, it is okay because the car is pretty wide. The only problem is that this seat is quite firm, it's raised up, but there's so much headroom, like I said before, that it doesn't really matter. There's also a hump in the floor, but once again, that doesn't really matter because the footwells are so big that unless you're Bigfoot, yeah, it's gonna be fine for everyone's feet. Another thing worth noting is that these back windows, they're absolutely massive. Kids will like the fact that they can get a great view out. And when you wind them down, they go all the way down, which is handy if you want to lean out. Other couple of things to point out though are, yeah, the materials here in the back feel a little bit on the cheap side, but it's like that in a Volkswagen Tiguan, to be fair. Now, there are some useful storage solutions about the place. So you've got some pockets there for your iPad. There's huge door bins, that's a 1.5 litre bottle. And when you fold this down, you have some cup holders there. Now, one thing that is a little bit disappointing is the fact that you can only get ISOFIX anchor points on this seat and this seat. In some other 7-seaters, you can get them on the rearmost seats and even on the front passenger seat as well. Now, speaking of the rearmost seats, let's go check them out. I'll just pull this, slide it forward to get into the back. I'm actually going to move this one out of the way so you can tell what I'm doing back here and see how much space I've got. So, let me just pop this up. Now, let's start off with the headroom. Headroom is not very good, really. Look at that. So adults aren't going to want to go too far. Kids will be all right. Now, though, let's check out the knee room. Well, if those people in front are cruel, well, you'll see. Yeah, there's not enough knee room for me. But if you slide this seat forward a bit, there we go. That is just about, I could do short journeys in the back of this car. And even then, there's just about enough knee room for adults in this middle row. Other things that you've got back here, well, there's the odd cubby space here and here. There is a 12-volt socket there for the boot, which you could obviously plug your mobile phone in. So, back row, all right for kids, not so great for adults. Let's move on to the boot. I'll just put these seats back. Come on. All right. With all the seats up on the 7-seater version, the boot is about as big as on a small hatchback, something like a Volkswagen Polo. All right for shopping, not all right for 7 people's kit for a holiday. But if I fold down this rearmost seat and the other one as well, there we go, you get a much bigger boot. It is actually pretty large now. On the 5-seater version, you've probably got about 15% more space, but still that's going to be enough for most people. And with this particular car, there is no load lip to lift stuff over, so it's easy to slide things in and out. Now, if you want to carry absolutely loads of stuff, you can then fold down these seats, and if you want, they are 3-way folding, so you can carry long items through here and people either side. If you don't, you just fold them down, then you have this big load area. It's not completely flat, but it's as near as it gets, so it's absolutely fine. You can slide big items straight to the front of the car. And if you want some more information on this car's practicality, click up there to watch my detailed video on that. You can see how much stuff we can squeeze into this car's boot, what it's like with 3 people in the back, and see just how easy it is to fit a child seat. Now, we've talked about storage here in the back. Let's talk about it in the front of the car, because Skodas are famous for being practical throughout their entire cabins. I just grabbed the bottle that I left there earlier to demonstrate the huge door bins here in the front as well. You've got some storage under here, more here, some under here. You've got some here as well. Normal glove box, not that large, but it's not such a problem because look, you have a separate glove box up here as well. In terms of the layout and the design of this car, you know, it's not the most exciting design, but it's quite smart. There's quite a bit of black plastic about the place, but most of the materials are squidgy, soft, and well, they feel high quality, and it all has like a nice, well-built feeling to it as well. In terms of trim levels, right, so the S level doesn't have this big 8-inch screen. It has a slightly smaller one. The SE has this system, which is, well, it's really nice, easy to use. It's pretty fast, the processor in it. And on the whole, it's very good. And if you click up there, you can actually see my full in-depth video review of the infotainment system. The SE that I've just mentioned doesn't have sat-nav as standard though. You need to step up to this SEL. Now it's not too much of a problem because on the SE you do get Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, so you can just use your phone's Google Maps to navigate you if you want to. But I reckon this SEL is actually better value because of all the kit you get on the car, such as LED headlamps, larger alloy wheels, and nice posh feeling Alcantara seats. Now on the whole, this Kodiaq is really well thought out. So all the controls, you know, they're easy to find. There's no faffing around. And it's nice and simple to get comfortable as well. So if you're tall, you can really lower your seat down so you've got plenty of headroom. And if you're a small person, you don't need to be intimidated by this large vehicle. You really can just jack your seat up high and then you've got a good view out. And on the whole, I must say, yes, I'm quite impressed by this car.
Right then, that's all the practical stuff dealt with. Time to hit the road.
Okay, what I'm going to do is explain what this car is like in 3 different main driving environments. So when you're in town, the raised driving position gives you a good view over other traffic. There is a little bit of a blind spot just there, but it's not too bad. And while the back window isn't the largest, you can still get a decent view out of it. And if you click up there, you can see for yourself by joining me for a 360-degree passenger ride video. On the whole, this is a very comfy car to travel in, but at very low speeds, the suspension does pick up a few bumps in the road and you can feel it fidget a bit. If that's a problem, you can get adaptive dampers which have a comfort mode, but personally I wouldn't bother. I think this car is comfy enough. Now in terms of the controls, well, the brakes are good, the gear shift, it's a bit notchy, but it's got a nice positive feel to it, and the automatic gearbox, yeah, you can blend gears well enough. Steering is nice and light, which is handy for manoeuvring around town or parking. The only thing is, when you go at faster speeds, the next environment, motorways and A roads, yeah, it does feel a bit vague. So you want to press a button down here, which can put the car into sports mode. Yes, sports mode on a big Skoda SUV, and it weights up the steering, and it does feel a little bit more planted then. And on the whole, I think this feels like a really stable, secure car to drive at speed. There's not too much road noise either. You do notice a bit of wind whistle though from the big wind mirrors. But other than that, this is a fairly quiet car to travel in, and it's relaxing as well because these seats, yeah, while they're a bit firm, they are nice and comfortable. You can do lots of miles in them, no problems at all. And that brings us onto the 3rd driving environment, a twisty road such as this. So for a big car, this Kodiaq actually corners pretty blooming well. If you boot it down a back road, you might end up making your family feel a little bit scared. They needn't, because this is a safe car. It's also very grippy as well because you can get it with 4-wheel drive, though yeah, it's not a serious off-roader. Something like a Land Rover Discovery Sport is better for doing proper off-roading. But like I say, yeah, it goes around corners well enough, yet it doesn't roll too much in the corners, which is great. So people won't feel car sick, and that's great news because you don't want people being sick all over the inside of your new Skoda Kodiaq now, do you? As for the engines, well, if you're doing lots of miles, you'll want one of the 2-litre diesels. And this is the range-topping 190 horsepower version, which is pretty quick. It's got all-wheel drive and it's the auto, and it's supposed to do just under 50 miles per gallon, which your computer's saying I'm doing 40. It's all right. I reckon though, if you're not doing lots of miles, you should just get the 150 horsepower 1.4 litre turbo petrol. It's easily quick enough and it should still do pretty good economy. In fact, that's actually one of my favourite engines currently on sale.
Not everything about the Skoda Kodiaq is perfect. Here's 5 annoying things about it.
The shortcut touch-sensitive menu buttons don't actually have any haptic feedback, so you're not entirely sure what you're pressing while you're driving. Plus, the smooth surface doesn't half show grubby fingerprints. With a 5-seater version of the Kodiaq, you get handy seat releases here in the boot, but not with this 7-seater model. Why the heck not? This little digital trick computer looks like the screen from an old Game Boy. Skoda, this is 2017, by the way. You don't get all-round parking sensors as standard, not even on the top specification car. You just get them for the rear, so if you're trying to nose in like this, yep. Yeah, I'm not sure how much room I've got to play with at all. The DSG dual clutch automatic gearbox is a little bit jerky when you're trying to pull away or reversing. Oh, sorry about that.
Thankfully, the Skoda Kodiaq has plenty of cool things which more than make up for all this.
You can store the load cover underneath the false floor. Look, it's all very easy to do. Just put that in there like that, fold these down and voila. I love the way these little door protectors pop out when you open the doors, and you have a handy umbrella in the door in case it's raining. The light in the boot actually doubles as a removable torch, and it's magnetic so you don't lose it. As with all Skodas, you have a handy eye scraper in the fuel filler cap, and it also doubles as a magnifying glass. Skoda has incorporated a rather cool crystal-like design within the tail lights. Like it. Now, if you click up there, you can go to carwow.co.uk for more information and to compare offers on the Skoda Kodiaq. So then, what's my overall verdict on this car? Should you avoid it? Should you consider it? Should you shortlist it? Or should you just go right ahead and buy it? Well, I reckon you should just go right ahead and buy the Kodiaq. It's a brilliant 7-seater SUV and it's incredible value for money. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it. Click up there on our logo to subscribe, up there to watch my detailed practicality video, down there to watch my detailed infotainment video review, and down there to watch my 360-degree passenger ride video. Now, did you spot the Easter egg in this video? It was the picture, the 1980s Rapide, in the car's second glove box.